friend. Who knew in 2024 we would be talking about the bonnet, but here we are. Do you guys remember when the bonnet was all the blaze and everybody was like, oh my gosh, I think Monique may have sparked it. Where it's like, don't wear the bonnet outside the house, which is really weird because we've never had an issue with the do-rag being worn out the house, but we've had an issue with the bonnet being worn out the house. Maybe it's in culmination with the pajama pants and the slippers, like the whole I just rolled up out of bed and I got my bonnet on. I don't know what the upsetting is, maybe because it was black women mostly versus black men. I don't know, but as I'm speaking, I just made the connection that we have never had a problem with a do-rag to the degree that we had a problem with the bonnet. Now I get it, when I go into professional settings and I saw do-rags, I would be like, oh, that's interesting, but I never had a problem with a man working on his, like, he's still processing his waves, or why, whatever reason why he has on his do-rag. And same thing with a bonnet. Sis ain't ready to drop them curls, so she gonna keep her bonnet on. But I wanted to point to, or actually talk about, when I first got on here during the Black Girl Follow train, December 2022. In that era, black women were connecting and connecting and connecting from all walks of life. It was a beautiful thing. Those of you who were a part of the original Black Girl Follow train, shout out to the originator. Don't know her name, but her sound created a movement. So when we do retell our history, because we must really pay attention to, we are present day history. When we do retell our history, the Black Girl Follow train on TikTok, it changed my life. That Black Girl Follow train is the reason why we probably know each other. That Black Girl Follow train took me from 9 followers to 12.1 followers. I know guaranteed 6,000 of you, whether you still follow me or not, I never unfollow people, and I know TikTok unfollows people all the time. 6,000 of you are from the Black Girl Follow train. I'm able to have an audience that I speak to, and a large number of you guys, I have friends, people I consider sisters, that I met through the Black Girl Follow train. So it was a very powerful movement, a movement so powerful that they did everything they could to end it. They literally put all these different things to separate us, and to this day they still unfollow each other or unfollow us from each other because we cannot be connected. Do you understand? It was global. But the point that I wanted to make outside of that is all these women were coming on here in their bonnets. And I made a video at the time that said the bonnet is the great equalizer. Because there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's judges, there's housewives, there's, her, them, everybody coming on here in a bonnet. Shoot, I was coming on here in my bonnet because at then my hair wasn't locked up, so my hair was always over my head. And it was a hat, a bonnet, a pair of pants. Like, I used to put all kinds of things on my head so y'all couldn't see it. It was a mess. My hair always is a mess. That's one thing I don't care about. My crown. I said the bonnet was the great equalizer. If I walked into a room with the exact same black women, I would be intimidated at the time. I would be intimidated. I would feel less than, because these women have way more, and this is what we value in the black community. We value education. We value credentials. We value things. So we come into a space with people who have the education, the credentials, and the things, and we automatically shrink ourselves because we feel less than, because we don't have the worldly acquisitions. We have not acquired the worldly things that the other individual has, and so we automatically think we're less than. That is the energy that I moved in. I will walk into these networking events and all these different things, and I want to network, but I don't really know how to network, and we click up. Keep it cheap, we click up. Somebody wouldn't even talk to me because I'm not dressed the way that someone they would talk to would dress, because my hair is not the way that someone they would wear, or someone they would talk to would wear their hair. My speech pattern isn't the speech pattern of someone that my credentials aren't with someone, my this isn't that. So if I were to walk into a room and ask a question, that sister may or may not talk to me. But on TikTok, when sis had on her robe and her bonnet, and I had on my robe and my bonnet, sis was willing to talk to me. And I said the bonnet was the great equalizer. So I'm thankful for the Black Girl Follow train. I'm thankful for the bonnet. And I'm actually thankful for this individual who said something because he started a conversation. And y'all so funny going under his comment, telling him to mind his business. We've had actually a good exchange. And that's what I told him. I was just like, we don't have any room to be divided anymore. Like, I'm about to get into my political bag. I'm about to get on y'all's nerves, y'all. I learned that politics is just people moving. Politics is just making laws to either restrict or oppress people or to give people freedoms and rights. And with that said, we must get into the politics. My perspective in relation to politics and how important it is for us to the people, united, will never be defeated. Knowing that, I ain't got time to beef with you, bruh. I get it. The bonnet, I get it. But we ain't got time. I told you what it was. You're like, okay, I see what it is. I'm going to mind my business. Now let's keep moving forward because the people united will never be defeated. We don't have time to beef with each other simply because we look different, we talk different, we present different, we drive different, we live different. Me and Andre had a conversation on the way to work where we were talking about how I was listening to the MLK biography, and they were talking about how the slaves, didn't believe in an unjust, unfair God. If they had shoes, somewhere we're supposed to have shoes too. So they would go into the field and they would sing their spirituals, which is just mantras. And they would say, new shoes, I got shoes, you got shoes, we got shoes, shoes, shoes. They singing mantras about shoes. Now I got shoes. I got shoes. I got plenty of pairs of shoes. And now I go back to a praying grandma and I'm like, yo, the life that I'm living today is off of the backs of my ancestors who prayed for this, who fought for this, who died for this. Why would I stop praying, fighting, and dying for this? Now, I don't want to die for this, but I'm going to die eventually, and I would like to die praying and fighting for it. I don't want to die for it, but I'm willing to die in the fight, if that makes sense. I'm trying to be immortal. I'm gonna keep it G. I'm trying to live forever. I believe it's possible, but it's so much bigger than getting on this internet judging each other for how we choose to present.